All right, back to work, A fantastic day comes to an end. Boy, it's fun watching students make money with us right now in the morning trade. Hope you guys had a fantastic day as well. We're back to work tonight, though. Had that big move higher after that CPI report this morning. And I'll tell you right now, that big move is pretty much all we need to make money tomorrow, because now we know everybody's waiting for that nice deep pullback tomorrow. And I'll tell you right now, if we time this pullback correctly for tomorrow, we could have one of our biggest, easiest money-making winners tomorrow morning on Wednesday morning. I have a lot we're going to cover in a very important video tonight. I want to make sure you guys have a game plan to make some money on those deep pullbacks tomorrow morning as well. Before we jump in, though, and get the party going tonight, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I don't want you to miss tomorrow night's video, so make sure you subscribe. And if you like these videos, if you enjoy these lessons here tonight, do me a favor, hit that like button for me. Give me a shout out, give me a holler down in the comment section below. Either way, thank you so much for tuning in, supporting the channel. I'm a bit late here tonight, so thank you so much for your patience. Let's get into it, though. Where are the best trades setting up for Wednesday? Starting off tonight, as always, on the Nasdaq and the triple Qs. I got the Emini and the SPY. I'm going to start first tonight on the 60-minute time frames to plan our trades for the following day. Later on in the video tonight, we'll drill down on our tick charts. Tick charts make everything easier for entry timing. So we'll start off on the big picture 60, and we'll talk entry tactics a bit later on the tick charts. What are the 60-minute time frames telling us, right? Well, we're definitely pretty bullish right now. We know that. The most important clue, though, on the 60-minute chart is the sheer size of this move. We got some big moves going higher right now on the E-mini and the Nasdaq. Big moves give us plenty of ways to make money, and really a very simple game plan whenever we see a big move on any market. We'll talk about that in a moment. I think the biggest clue, though, right now is on the tick charts. The tick charts are going to help us dial in that perfect pullback here for tomorrow. Now, before we jump into the tick charts, though, and talk about entry tactics for Wednesday morning, let's all get on the same page for tomorrow. There are three things I want you to be aware of for tomorrow. The first, of course, is the big block of news at 8:30 Eastern time this morning. We get the PPI report, the kind of the cousin of the CPI number, and of course we got retail sales tomorrow morning at 8:30 Eastern time. That is the big news of the morning tomorrow morning. Later on in the session, we have the Vice Chair Barr. He's back speaking again at 9:30 Eastern time. Everybody is looking for clues right now to when the first rate cut might be early next year. We'll be watching closely, listening in to Michael Barr tomorrow morning at 9:30 Eastern time. And the third thing I want you to keep in mind for tomorrow is there'll be no video newsletter posted tomorrow night on the YouTube channel. I hate to leave you guys hanging again, but I got to be out of the office, unfortunately, late in the day tomorrow afternoon. Not to worry, though. We'll be in our trade room tomorrow morning, and we'll come back and resume our normal schedule on Thursday evening on this YouTube channel. So just be aware of that. PPI and retail sales tomorrow at 8:30. Michael Barr at 9:30. And again, I will see you tomorrow morning in the trade room, but no video newsletter tomorrow night on the YouTube channel. Now back to our charts, though, right? Because of course the money is made on the charts. It's good to know when the news is, but we make our money on the charts here. Let's now go over my favorite trades here right now on the E-mini and the Nasdaq. We'll start first here, of course, on the E-mini and the SPY. Starting off on the 60-minute chart, we mentioned earlier a big move higher right now means everybody is waiting for that nice deep pullback here. I think the biggest clue, though, right now is over on the tick charts. Now, this is a 7,000 tick chart, upper left-hand corner, and of course that is the 21 EMA. If you're tuning in here tonight for the first time, there are two really important clues right now that are tipping us off to where the best trades are going to be for tomorrow. The first clue is a news spike. Now, in our free video classes, we talk a lot about what are called measured moves, or ABCD. You can pretty much bank on the fact that whenever we see a strong news spike like that, I can take the size of that news spike and project it off that first pullback, and that will give us kind of a target, right, for these buyers up around that 40, that 45, 40 area. Very similar way to look at this on the NASDAQ as well. That's one very big clue. It tells us where this market is trying to go ultimately. The second clue, and arguably just as important, is the size of that move. Anytime we see a big move higher like this, First of all, we know that everybody is waiting for that nice steep pullback to buy nice and low. Now, specifically, and we talk a lot about this in our trade room, anytime we see a big move, we expect a two-legged pullback and a retest of the high. A two-legged pullback and a retest of that high. Now, there are plenty of ways to make money with a two-legged pullback and a retest of the high. I can short this on the way lower. There are 3 different ways to buy it on the pullback. And then depending on what happens, we can short off the double top, or if it breaks through that high, there's a few different ways we can trade breakouts going higher as well. So as you can see, there is plenty of ways to make money tomorrow. And like I said, if we play our cards right tomorrow morning, could be another really big winning day tomorrow on really any market you want to apply this. So let's break this down. Let's talk about how to time those entries. Now, I mentioned earlier, we're looking for a two-legged pullback. Now, when I say two-legged pullback, you want to think about a measured move. So we talk a lot about measured moves in our free video classes, right? So think about a measured move, a 100% extension. And this will almost always go a little bit further than a measured move, right? We don't have enough information yet. I'm watching for that two-legged pullback a little bit more than that measured move. Now, as we're trying to take care of that two-legged pullback, the way that you short off the high is with a very simple pattern called a crown reversal. Now, in these situations, I usually look for a half-size position, a quarter-size position as you're trying to catch the top of this big move. So again, think about that measured move, right? Coming off of the high. Think about that 100% extension, and we're trying to go roughly a little bit more than that 100%. That'd be a great target for us on that short off the high. And again, the pattern I'm looking for tomorrow is called a crown reversal. It's basically a bull trap off the high. It's a lower low in price and a trap above that high. There's a lot of examples of that in our free video course, right? So that's a crown reversal. Now, as we pull back now, this move lower will feel very bearish as long as we're getting that two-legged pullback. It'll feel very bearish, and hopefully we can pull back here now and trap some bears in with a very simple entry pattern I call a two-try failure. Now imagine we pull back nice and strong. It will feel very bearish on a faster time frame tomorrow in our morning trade room. Let's rope in those bears. Let them try once. Let them try twice, because then once I have that two-try failure pattern setting up, I can then use stops to fuel this move going back up to retest that high. Okay, so again, crown reversal off the high, a two-try failure now around key support, again, after that two-legged pullback. Now at this point, we know exactly where the market wants to go, right? It wants to run back up and take out that high. As we make the run going higher, we want to focus on buying as low as we possibly can. And there's one very simple entry pattern we do that with, and that's called, in this case, a bear trap. Now remember, when it comes to trap entries, in this case, a bear trap is a higher high in price and a trap below that low. So this is the roadmap. This is the dance we're looking to do tomorrow morning. A big move going higher. We anticipate that two-legged pullback. Again, think a bit more than a measured move. As we're going lower, it's that lower low in price and that bull trap to short off the high. We take our profit around support on that two-legged pullback. Then trap those bears in. Let those rookies chase it lower. Use their stops to fuel that move going higher. And before we take out that high, grab that higher high in price, right, and that bear trap before we go back up and retest the high. This is my favorite pattern sequence after I see a big move higher. And you know, if you're watching for the first time right now, this might be a brand new language for you. Crown reversals, failure patterns, bear traps. I know that most of you guys have learned these entry tactics. I get so much great feedback on my email inbox every week, so I'm glad to hear that. But if you're watching right now for the first time, this is all brand new to you. Not to worry, I teach all these patterns. I have hundreds of examples of these setups all wrapped into our free video classes. I'll put a link up here for you in the upper right-hand corner, grab that link that popped up there and take that free video course, because the strategy I teach in that video series will teach you a remarkably simple trick we use in our morning trade room, our members trade room, to know exactly where the best winning trades are going to be each day. And most importantly, once you know the roadmap to find where the winners will be, I'll teach you 4 of my favorite entry patterns to help kickstart you making money. The markets are way too good right now not to be making consistent money. If you're tired of missing the best trades each day, hit that link up top there. Take that free course. It's perfect for someone trying to make the jump into full-time trading. I have hundreds of examples of crown reversals and failures and traps. And also be aware too, if you can't get that link that popped up there, I'll put all the important links tonight in the video description, in the YouTube description. I'll put the free class links, our trade room membership links, and also too, I post a lot of updates each day on our Twitter feed. I'll put my Twitter feed down there, description as well. Follow me on Twitter if you want more in between these videos on the YouTube channel. All right, so now that you know more about that two-legged pullback, that trap those bears in and back up to retest the high. Later on in the video, I want to talk about how we can short off that high and how we know when to buy it going through that high as well. So we'll talk about that here in a moment. One more thing I want to cover though is sometimes what happens is sometimes you see this big two-legged move. They'll pull back, they'll hold the underbelly of that range and retest this low. This is a very common variation of this setup, and I want to make sure you're ready for that here for tomorrow. So again, I mentioned earlier, if we get that two-legged pullback, I want to trap those bears in 1, 2, and run back up. We oftentimes see that bear trap, that two-try failure, it will make its run up. We'll get that 1-to-1, right, first target, but then for whatever reason, it rolls over and takes out that low. Okay, now we look for that double bottom reversal. It's the exact same scenario. Once we take out that low, who's waiting down here? Buyers, right? Why? Because it's such a big move higher. We expect that any deep pullback right now will likely get bought up. So once we go back and retest the low, I then go in and look for the same exact setup, right? Look for those bears trying once, bears trying twice, get that failure pattern. And then again, on the way higher here, this one entry I always look for. And that, of course, is that bear trap as we make our run back up again. So again, very similar game plan, but a slight variation to it, right? We get that two-legged pullback, we trap the bears in, we'll look for that 1-to-1 quick target, get rid of that risk. Hopefully it keeps on running back up to retest the high. But again, if they hold the underbelly of that range, if they do go back and retest that low, you have to assume there are more buyers waiting down there because it's such a big move higher here today. And so again, you know me, I'm not one to pick the bottom on this. I would rather wait for the bears to come in, let them get trapped in, buy into those stops with that two-try failure pattern I mentioned earlier. Then as we run higher, that bear trap on the way back up to retest those highs. So keep that variation in the back of your mind there on the way back up, or if we double bottom on that pullback. Now, I want to cover a very important topic. We know how to buy the pullback. We know where the market wants to go, but how do we know if we're buying it going higher or selling it off of that high? There are 3 different ways for us to trade this. Let's talk about that right now on the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq, of course, is very, very similar here to the Emini S&P. We are very bullish right now after that rocket ship we saw today after that CPI report. The big clue, though, is on the tick charts. Let's go drill down to those tick charts here. This is a 4,000 tick chart on the Nasdaq, and again, that 21 EMA. Same basic idea here right now on the Nasdaq. We have that strong news spike going higher. That's first clue. We can bubble that up, and that will give us that big, right? That big news spike measured move. That becomes an objective here for us tomorrow, the following day, later on this week. The size of this move is a big important clue. That two-legged pullback. Remember, think about that measured move. Trap those bears in, right? Look for that double bottom. That same basic game plan I outlined on the E-mini. Now let's talk about, though, if we do end up all the way back up to retest that high. Now, one thing we talk about a lot in our free video course is there's always two questions you want to ask yourself. How is my location and how is my momentum? Okay, how is location right here? Location's great for a short, right? It's great for a short because all the buyers who bought low, they're probably taking a good chunk of their profit off at that high. So location's great. The problem is momentum. That will be very, very bullish as it rotates back up to retest the high. So I don't want to buy high. I'd like to sell off this high. I always like to get that double top reversal. The challenge is we have to absorb all of that momentum. And this is exactly where another one of those crown reversal patterns will come in handy. So as we make our run higher and we start taking profit off at that high, let's see what happens. Do buyers push through that high and continue? We'll talk about the pattern on that in a moment. Or do the buyers try once, try twice, and grab that bull trap or give us a bull trap for that short back down again? Again, we mentioned earlier that on the pullback going lower, we were looking for that crown reversal, that lower low in price for that move going lower. If we end up back around that high again after trapping those bears in once, twice, and then back up, right? If we end up back at that high, it is the same situation. In fact, I like these in better, right? These are even better patterns because now everybody who bought that dip, they should be taking a good chunk of their profit off at that high. The key is simply absorbing that momentum. Let those buyers try once, get that lower low in price, ideally, that lower low, and then watch for that bull trap above that high. And again, if you're watching for the first time right now, this stuff might be all brand new to you. I have a lot of examples of crown reversals and bull traps in that video course I mentioned earlier. So definitely make sure you grab that. You'll learn a lot more there. That is how we'll short that double top, right? That double top reversal. And then if we get that short, where does the market want to go? It wants to go back and take out these lows, right? Okay, so if that's the case here, think about as we go higher, right? As we go higher, we're looking for what? Looking for bear traps on the way up. As we try to go lower, it's the same exact situation, except it's simply going to be the opposite direction. It's that bull trap, right? Going lower, right? Lower low in price and that trap above the high. All right, guys? So think about that double top reversal. The game plan getting that pullback is pretty easy. But once we go back and retest the high, let those buyers try a couple times, use their stops to fuel this move turning over. Then as we go lower, mark that low, find that bull trap, and finish off that run back down to retest the low. Once we take out that low again, do it again, right? Do it again. Trap the bears in once, twice, right? And buy it right back up again. Rinse and repeat. These oftentimes become one big trading range after a big move. In this case, a big move going higher. Now, another very important question. How do we know when to buy it as it goes back up to retest the high? It's very, very simple. You'll begin to see what's called a pop and grind. Again, let's say we get that two-legged pullback. We get the entry and we're running back up to retest the high. What will happen in these scenarios is the market will pop and grind all the way through that high. The grind is the giveaway. The grind is the giveaway. Now remember, this is very different than going up into that high and then lower lows, right, for that crown reversal. That is a reversal setup. However, if it runs into that high and begins to grind and grind and grind, that grind is the giveaway. Very simple now. Mark a trend line off those highs. Bring it down to that low. Look left. Find some prior swings. And my goal is I want that first test off the low of that channel. This could be a lot of different patterns you guys are learning in the free video course, right? So we run lower, we pop up, we begin to grind, grind, grind. We're clearly breaking through that previous high. We're not seeing 1, 2 lower lows, right? That's the crown reversal giveaway. If we start grinding higher, we mark off that trend line, we mark off that channel, we look left. Find those prior swings. Prior swings are usually where the best entries are going to be in these pop and grind channels like this. Now, I'm keeping it simple right now. This could be a bear trap, like I'm showing you right here. Oftentimes, these things will do stuff like this where they'll slice lower. We'll get underneath that 21 moving average. The bears will come in. They'll try to get short off that 21 EMA. That gives us that failure into pullback combination that we love so much in our trade room. Now, one very good clue about these pop and grind moves is the size of that pop leg. That's the first leg. That's the measuring leg. Once I know how big that pop-up leg is, I can now pin it at that low, and that will now give us, right, where that measured move leg or measured move target is going to be. You know, people oftentimes, we talk a lot about this in our trade room. If you want to make more money, don't trade more often. Don't trade more patterns. Don't dilute yourself over a large period of different markets. Just get better at holding on to your winners. Make more money on each trade that you take. This simple technique is very easy to squeeze out some more money out of these trades here. So it pops up and grinds and grinds and grinds like that. Again, mark that high. Mark that low, wait for that pullback, and this could be a failure pattern like here, a failure into pullback combination. It could be a trap pattern, any of the entry patterns you guys are learning in the free trading course. And again, make sure you know that first leg higher, pin that up, and that will give you an idea of where that objective is going to be. I'll be trying to combine that first leg, measured leg, along with that measured move, that new spike measured move, to squeeze out those big runners tomorrow, right? Tomorrow late morning or early afternoon, right, guys? So now at this point now, I think the game plan is pretty well set. We know how to trade that two-legged pullback. We know how to trap the bears in. We know how to deal with a double bottom. We know as we go back up to retest the high, we know how to short it. We know how to buy through it. The game plan now is all set. Now all we need is a good night's sleep, and tomorrow morning we'll trade this stuff together tomorrow because, we do a pretty good job at outlining our game plan tonight, but the markets, they love to throw some curveballs at us. We got some big news tomorrow morning, once again, at 8:30 Eastern Time. So the place to be tomorrow is in our trade room, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. We'll prep our charts overnight, trade the plan together. I can't think of any better way to learn this stuff than to come out and trade with us every morning in our members trade room. 8 o'clock Eastern Time tomorrow morning. I'll put all the membership links. I'll put the free class links, my Twitter feed links, all the important information, the description of the YouTube video. If you're watching for the first time right now, I would definitely recommend take the free video course first, learn the basic fundamentals of how we trade, and that way be ready and primed up and ready to go for us sometime soon, trading with us in the morning trade room with all the members. If you got any questions or trouble getting access to our free video classes, definitely don't be afraid to call or email or use live chat. I'm here to help out if you guys have questions along the way. All right, guys? Boy, a fantastic day today. It's been a great month so far. We got more big day coming tomorrow. Hope you learned a lot in the video. Hope you use this knowledge to make a bunch of money tomorrow. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow morning trading with us sometime soon in the morning trade room. I will not see you tomorrow night. Be back on Thursday evening though. Be well, be nice to each other, and be here next time. Adios amigos. Bye-bye for now.